Right. Hey, how y'all doing? Back again, another episode of the It Factor. As always, I'm your host, Jeremy Robinson, and today we have someone special. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Angelica McDonald. I am an attorney and co-founder of Rise HBCU.
Indeed. So, with that, how are you doing mentally, physically, and emotionally?
Uh, you know what? I'm doing all right. It's been a pretty rough year,
Mhm.
but I can say that right now I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing all right.
That's good. That's good. And I would say, why is it important? We're gonna jump it off the top right here. We're gonna start right here. Why is it
Okay.
important for HBCU students to know more about NILs when it comes to just that standard? And I wouldn't just say students, I would say coaches, personnel, even to the point of anybody that's involved with sports at the HBCU campus.
Honestly, NIL really opens a lot of doors and it provides so many different opportunities than people realize.
Mhm.
Um, people think of NIL as just this way to funnel money to kids and, or student athletes and, just a way for them to get paid while they're in school. But NIL really can provide a lot of different opportunities for student athletes, to coaches, to schools.
Mhm.
Um, if a student wants to get into a particular field after they get out of school, this is a perfect way for them to start getting their feet wet,
Mhm.
possibly working with the company, whether it's, advertising for them or just getting to know a company, building relationships with a company, um, just to network and build their personal brand. You
Mhm.
can use NIL for that. And again, like people don't realize like NIL is something that everybody has. Everybody has the opportunity to utilize. That's what influencers
Right.
use their NIL to promote, brands, so NIL can be and do the same thing. And a lot of times I think that people look at it so narrowly, but it's
Mhm.
really a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for student athletes to delve into areas that they may be interested in. Or I know a lot of like student athletes have a little side hustles and little like side skills that
Indeed.
nobody really knows about. People cut hair, do hair. They
Mhm.
might, do photography or videography or make
You do
clothes.
everything.
They do a lot. They do so many different things. Some have so many different talents that people may not even realize. You can use your NIL to promote that stuff when before you couldn't utilize your NIL to make money of any kind. So it just really opens the doors, and I hope that more coaches, more institutions are open to the opportunities that it provides. Because when students are looking, just how they're looking at student athletes and what they bring to their institution,
Mhm.
it's like students are looking at what coaches, what schools are really investing in students when it comes to NIL.
Indeed.
So, I did an interview a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about how Angel Reese, she looked at LSU because of or she went to LSU because of the type of energy that they were putting into personal branding and NIL.
Right.
So it makes sense. If the
Mhm.
school is going to be behind me and promoting me and help educating me and providing me resources to really take my personal brand to the next level and obtain NIL opportunities, then why wouldn't I go there?
Definitely.
So I think that schools need to really consider that and think about that.
They do, man. They do. So, with that, I say so. What went into you creating Rise HBCU?
So, I've always wanted to, work in the sports field since I was in the 10th grade. I
Mhm.
used to want to be a college basketball recruiter, a huge
Okay.
college basketball fan. And then it turned into me wanting to be an agent. So I always knew that I wanted to work for the athlete. I
Uh-huh.
didn't really want to work for like the brand or the team. I wanted to represent the athlete. So I knew that. And actually I want to say it was about 2015, like when I first like got my first job out of law school.
Mhm.
Um, I knew that the way I see the athlete's journey. I see like it from, from them being just an amateur athlete to them being in college to them being professional to them, being like post, professional retirement. And, a lot of the information and education that they receive or don't receive really dictates how a lot of these other stages go. So I really wanted to start talking to young people more like about the different, skills that they need to have a personal brand, just like those soft skills that they may not have or may not have access to
Mhm.
in a little something called NIL, which again, NIL isn't new, but for college athletes and high school athletes, it is new. So a thing called NIL came along,
Mhm.
and it just opened the door for me to do the work that I've been wanting to do for so long. Just couldn't do it, when you're an agent, like you can't have but so much contact with,
Right.
student athletes. So this basically opened the door wide for that. And talking myself and my partner, co-founder, um we're both HBCU grads, NCCU grads, and it was like, well, where is the conversation around HBCU athletes? Because we saw it clear as day, like what kind of opportunity this could really open up for HBCUs, but
Mhm.
we weren't hearing that. We
Right.
weren't hearing that conversation, and we as we continued to work and plan, we still weren't hearing it. So it just further confirmed what we already knew, that there needs to be organizations and people who are really dedicated to looking out for HBCU athletes and making sure that they have the same opportunities that student athletes at other institutions outside of the HBCU community have access to. So that's where Rise HBCU
So and I
was.
love what you're doing. I mean, even when we had that conversation before, glad I was able to bring you on a podcast. But I look forward to working with you some more as well. But I would say
Absolutely.
ultimately, like what you're doing is very impactful because I can only imagine what your tour is going to do, what your impact event is doing. So tell me a little bit about the events you have doing and some of the things that you are doing and how students can get in touch with you.
So we've had a few different events and the campaigns that we put out there. We've had like a Founding 100 campaign where we were raising money to try to get 100 people to donate to us, just to like support the cause. The money went straight into Rise HBCU and our athletes. From that, we were able to do like an athlete retreat. So we had one in February where we like rented out a house, and we did like team building, and we did professional development activities. We fed them, we had a good time, celebrated birthdays. It was really fun time.
Mhm.
We also have hosted a business expo where we brought in brands that were interested in doing NIL deals with student athletes at NCCU.
Mhm.
Um, and there were even brand deals that came from that event, which was really the purpose. Like, we wanted to make it easier for brands to connect with student athletes who had been primed and educated and basically prepared for the opportunity. Before we even had the event, we had 2 sessions on personal branding and doing elevator pitches. So we were able to like really make sure that they were prepared for the opportunity, that they felt comfortable, that they did their research on these companies so that they could really capitalize on the opportunity. And we got so many compliments on how well prepared the athletes were.
Uh-huh.
Opportunity that they just blew everybody out of the water that these companies had previously, talked to and communicated with about doing NIL opportunities. So that was great. And then in June, we had our first conference, a first of its kind conference called the HBCU Athlete Movement Summit,
Uh-huh.
where we literally bring HBCU athletes together to learn, to network, to grow, and just talk about the subjects that affect them. So we had sessions on mental health, we had sessions on NIL, we had sessions on branding, how to build a personal brand.
Mm.
We had Raekwon Smith came, he's king of NIL. So, he was able to share his experience about how he got his NIL deals. And we had like an athlete social, like where we had a food truck out there, music. So it was honestly, it was better than I could have anticipated, especially like our first year. We had 12 athletes from 7 different institutions attend, and that was amazing.
Mhm.
And we had some great speakers, and I'm just excited for what's coming up for next year. We'll have the conference again May 16th and 17th. And
Mhm.
I'm really excited because we're adding a few different things to the conference. We're going to add like an athlete marketplace where it'll be similar to the setup of the business expo, where we'll be bringing in brands, but also just even companies that want to connect with HBCU athletes, HBCU students, and maybe like in a career field that they're interested, they potentially could be interested in going into and connecting with companies. So we're adding a few different things that I'm really excited about. And I've been working. I was actually had a call yesterday with somebody about some fundraising stuff. So really, really, really looking forward to what's next, what we're doing for sure.
You're doing great, man. I like that. I like that. I would say, so what is your it factor? Why do you do what you do?
Um, you know, the reason why I wanted to work in sports
Mhm.
really had everything to do with my classmates that I grew up with. Very talented athletes.
Mhm.
Um, could have gone professional, in my opinion. Super successful when we were like in middle school, but then transitioning to high school, a lot of them just fell by the wayside. They didn't necessarily have like that leadership, that coach that was on them, that set a standard, had like disciplined them.
Right.
Um, and they didn't have like that mentorship. And I remember back then, I took that so like much to heart. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but it just bothered me to see people with such talent. Um, and we're from a small city, Southeast North Carolina, like, and not allowing like such a talent, such an opportunity that you have to get you out of our small city,
Mhm.
and not even just to like get you out of the city, but um be able to see more in life, be
Yeah.
able to be exposed to more than just where we're from.
Mhm.
And it's always this like little term like, people don't get out of Rayford or whatever, and that's not the case at all. But some people do get stuck there. They get stuck in their circumstances. They get stuck in their social economic you know
True.
backgrounds, and just
I know.
it's a lot. And I took that personally. Like I can name 10 people, and I feel like that's the story of a lot of places. People had amazing talent, and maybe one mistake stopped them.
That's
But
my hometown.
huh?
I said that's my hometown, man.
Yeah, so it's like I took that personally, and I wanted to make sure that I was the person that an athlete could come to help guide them, and help them not make as many mistakes, and
Mhm.
like really have somebody who has their back, like no, intentions, no bad intentions involved, like somebody that really cares, really, really cares about where they're going, what they want to accomplish. Because I feel like ultimately it's like my God-given purpose to, help, athletes, help them their dreams come true, and help them like achieve their maximum potential and achieve a longevity. So,
Indeed. I like that.
I don't know, like it's kind of, I don't know if it's weird, but it's
Uh,
like it is really like my work, my story for real.
And I can believe that, man. We done had 2 conversations. I feel like I've known you and you know what you're talking about when it comes to
Well,
um,
thank you.
I would say, tell us about you being an NBA agent and also being a lawyer, because I commend you being a lawyer now. How you
Um,
how is that?
NBA agent. So my god brother's dad is the one who influenced me to want to be an agent. So I mean, he passed away in 2009. So it's like I always wanted to make sure that I accomplished that goal. And I'm just a huge basketball fan in general. And that's the sport that I played and I connected with the most. So it makes sense for me to like want to get certified as an NBA or NBPA agent. But I've been certified since last year, and it was, kind of like a dream. Like, when I got that, that email that said, like, I was just like, are you serious? Because there's not many Black women, not many women in the arena. And I'm happy to like for that to be one goal that I was able to accomplish. And of course, the next one is just to represent someone. And like I'm not even I'm not the type of person that wants necessarily the biggest athlete. I want the athlete. I think like Andre Iguodala. Like I want Iggy. Like you know what I mean. I want an Iggy, somebody who has played for a long time. Played for the teams that he played for a very long time and just consistent. I don't necessarily need to have like the star player. I want somebody who I can stick with. I'm not trying to represent everybody either. Because it's already hard enough. Most of the big agencies, they represent most of the athletes. It's kind of like something like a monopoly. So, I'm really focused on just building relationships, someone who can trust me, I can trust them, and it's like we're family, I'm actually not really pursuing it right now. As an agent, we have 5 years to, sign our first player. So especially what I got going on with
all this good stuff going on already.
like I'm letting God order my steps. I honestly feel like whoever I need to meet, who is going to be my first client under my agency, I feel like I'm going to meet along the way with what I'm doing. So I see God like ordering my steps, you know what I mean? So, and I'm the type of person that if something is for me, I'm not going to, not that I don't have to work hard for it, but I like God lays those steps, those, I see it. I see it. So it's like whenever it's time, it'll be time. And that actually this year they told our like years. So I think they may even be going back to revisit the whole 5-year thing. So I don't know, but this year didn't even count. So technically I still got 5 years because our first year did not count. And then next year didn't count. So, I still got 5 years
left. You lit.
Right. So, but as a lawyer, it's kind of funny because that was never my aim. Like I knew like I got 2 business degrees from UNC Charlotte. And I was considering getting like my master's in like sports administration or sports management. And I was dating this guy my sophomore year in college, and he wanted to go to law school. He actually wanted to go to Central. He ended up transferring from Central to UNC Charlotte. That's how I met him. Wow. And I was talking to him and I was telling him I wanted to be an agent. He was like, you should consider going to law school. Most agents are lawyers. And I was like, really? And from then, I remember that summer, like thinking about it and deciding, okay, I'm gonna study for the LSAT. And I decided, okay, I'm going to law school. So that was the path. And being a lawyer has its moments, of course. Like I feel like with any job.
Every job got it. Look, podcasting, engineering, anything you do, it got its.
Look, if I had a quarter for every time somebody said I make a lot of money, I would be making a lot of money. Like the perception of what people think attorneys are and like how much money we make. It's just like it's very interesting, the perception that people have, but then they want to ask us for free legal advice. Like I don't get like, how am I paid but you don't want to pay me? Like how does that work?
So
but
I like that. I would say, so what opportunities would you like HBCU students to have that PWI athletes have?
Honestly, I think that at the foundation, if they were taken seriously as seriously and seen as valuable, then the opportunities would come.
Yes.
They would, like the doors would open. But I think that the way people visualize HBCU athletes, even HBCUs, they like kind of have us in a box. Even us as a community, we sometimes have us in a box.
You better say it. Better say it.
So, I think that the way we look at HBCU athletes, the perspective needs to change. I
Mhm.
would love for them to have more opportunities to network with other people, other brands, companies that again can put them in a different, bracket, or even just make things a little bit easier. Even when it comes to funding, like
Yes.
facilities,
Mhm.
being able to have, like, I won't even say a better experience, a more enhanced experience. I
Yeah.
think that like a lot of the HBCUs have been getting a lot of funding, and especially with the whole George Floyd movement.
Mhm.
um we've been calling it like the new renaissance period, where a lot of people are feeding into HBCUs and getting like we're getting resources that we deserve, that we should, but like it's plenty of HBCUs that haven't received the proper government funding, like those land grant universities.
Mhm.
So ultimately, I think that if they were seen the same way, like we have the athletes have the same skills, like I guess the minimum of skills to even play at the collegiate level.
Mhm.
So why are they not seen the same way? um Especially when I think that like the HBCU experience is just so unique. It's
Yeah.
something that cannot be duplicated,
Mm-mm.
which makes them different as a whole. So wouldn't you want to connect with someone who is just already different from the get-go, who is already unique, who already comes in with a unique perspective? Wouldn't that make them valuable?
It
But I
would.
know sometimes it's a numbers game, so that's definitely one thing that I want to try to make sure that I'm opening doors for HBCU athletes to be taken seriously, to be seen as valuable, because
Right.
I think that sometimes like people are waiting for other people to make them valuable, and then they change their mind, they
Yeah.
change their perspective about things. So that's really like what I want to see.
Okay. I like that. I like that. And I would say too, to piggyback over what you were saying, I think about that with even some of our players coming from transfer portal now and
Hmm.
leaving these big schools and going to HBCUs. Like a guy I had on Cardell Thomas. He left LSU, did great at LSU, but came to FAMU and just won a championship. So
Hmm.
tell me that's not talent. He did the same thing at LSU that he did at FAMU and won a championship. So
it's, it's gonna
it's
be a
multiple
case
stories like that. It's multiple
study.
stories like that. And it's
Yep.
like in every sport, and it's like men and women. And it's like, so what makes them different? Even with take Deion Sanders' kids, they have transferred to a whole nother school, but when they was at Jackson, they were dominating. So think about that. Like if they have the resources and different things, it would make them better students. It would
Hmm.
make them better. It would make it easier. You don't even have to recruit. It'll make it easier for people to say, okay, I want to go to Jackson. Oh, I
Yeah.
want to go this so I want to go to Mississippi State. Oh, I want to go, and that also feed into NIL deals because it make it easier. And you see your friends doing, so you like, hey man, how I do that? And even
Exactly.
having a person like yourself, that's so needed because I feel like a lot of students have someone that can speak for them and do these things for them.
Hmm.
Makes it
And
a lot easier.
that's actually how some of my former athletes came on, like became a part of Rise HBCU, because one of our athletes, they knew them, and I guess they were talking about us, and it was like, oh, like go ahead and set it up, or can I help me connect with them? And
Uh,
so, I feel like when you do good work, people will continue, like will make a way for you to stay connected. So um I'm really excited for the opportunity, the things that could happen
mhm,
if if we will all get on board and get on the same like page
mhm,
when it comes to supporting these HBCU
right,
athletes. If we were to like get on the same page, I think that we could create something that isn't even happening right now,
you're
like
right.
at all. We
Yeah.
could create our whole, like our own lane
Mhm,
completely. Not trying to be like anybody else, not trying to duplicate what maybe a PWI is doing, but we could create something that that is amazing
yeah,
and like for our community.
right.
Um, but again, y'all got to get on the same page.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So before we do close, I would say, so who are you outside of Rise HBCU, outside of being a lawyer? being an agent, and also just impacting the future. How about that? Who are you?
Um, I would say Angelica is a country girl from Rayford, North Carolina. First of all, born and bred. I am proud of where I come from.
Mhm.
Um, I'm a child of God.
It's
Um, I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a niece. I'm an auntie. I'm a godmother.
uh,
Um, I'm a lover of people, lover of love. Um, I'm, you know, someone who loves to serve, loves to help people.
yes.
Because I like to see people win. Even if that means I kind of got to go out of my way to help that to make sure that happens.
Mhm.
But I'm just kind of like I'm simple but different. I'm like a nerd. I like to read. Like don't get me on the subject because I feel like I
Uh-huh.
will go down a rabbit hole
Uh-huh.
on Google. Like, I like history. Like I'm like a history buff. So it's kind of weird, but I can't a lot of times I don't remember it, but
Mhm.
I like knowledge. I like feeding my mind.
That's
Um,
what's
yeah. And I'm a lover of sports.
mhm.
Yeah, hopefully that's a given. But
Got you. Yeah, that's
I
a
love
given. I
sports
can
and
see you.
arts.
Yeah,
I
I can
love
see that.
sports and the arts for
Mhm.
sure.
I'll say, so what are some of your long-term and short-term goals for Rise HBCU?
Whew.
Or we can stay with the short term if you want to, you know?
Okay. Um, Honestly, I want Rise HBCU to be like seen as that premier company that really is about helping HBCU athletes
Mhm.
um, win. Win it is NIL game, win it is personal branding game,
Mhm.
um, win in whatever goals they are setting for themselves.
Right.
Outside of athletics, like they have coaches and stuff like that. But like if they're trying to do other things, I want to be a part of really helping them win.
Mhm.
Would love to, connect with as many HBCUs as possible. Like we do NIL education. So we have like program, like we have a program called Equip and Empower, and really we are helping like in all the different subjects that really help them get started with personal branding and NIL and how to
Mhm.
get their first deal and how to manage them and what they need to look out for illegally, because that has been something that I feel like is not discussed enough. Like
Yes.
athletes are getting into deals that turn around and it's just was not good for them. They're dealing with people who are not good people, that are opportunistic,
Mhm.
that are
You're
looking
right.
to grease their own palms. Um, and I want to be able to like be that person they know that like we're gonna keep it 100, we're gonna keep it real, we're gonna give that tough love, but it's somebody like that they can trust. I would love for us to be a part of like the ecosystem that I was talking about, where we're bringing HBCUs, the athletes, the community, small businesses, maybe even corporations, the HBCU community together, and we're really like pulling all our support in together to help make sure these athletes succeed. Um, I would love for us, like we really want to get into like doing media stuff too. So like the like video content and podcast show. We have a podcast called Rapping with Rise. Haven't like really pushed it, but it's something that will be
I'm
coming
ready
down
to
the
see that.
pipeline.
I'm ready to see that.
So that's going to be fun.
Mhm.
We have like we have a apparel shop. So, like using our and like really being inspired by athletes and the things that affect them, and like putting it through like and like promoting it through apparel.
Right.
Um, we want to do that. And I don't know, like again, blowing up the conference, because
Yeah.
there is no conference that is for HBCU athletes specifically. Like just for them, there is no conference.
Not
So continue to grow the conference every year, continuing to make sure that HBCUs don't have to pay for their student athletes to attend the conference. So the conference be fully funded by sponsors, whether they're big corporations or everyday, person that just wants to give.
mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
I
I
love
just
it.
we wanna help as many people as possible. So
Mhm.
um and not even just athletes, like people that work with us. We would love to connect, like be able to give people experience and really show their talent
Mhm.
and the things that they've learned in school. And, they're helping maybe take our brand to the next level and being a part of something like that. Cause we're still so new. So helping us build from the ground up and just like being a part of the family.
Definitely, definitely. I love that. I love what you're doing. The stuff that you're taking on, like I said earlier, is seems like a big task, but I feel like you're the person to do it. It is a big task, but I seem like you're the person to do it. I said, God, don't give you more than you can bear. And
Listen,
you're already doing
sometimes, some days,
it.
you,
Some days easier than the other day.
I'm telling you, some days I'm like,
Mhm.
girl, what are you doing? And who do you, and sometimes it's like, who do you think you are to do something like that? But for whatever reason,
Uh,
I'm like, why not me? That's kind of how I see it. Like, why not me?
Why not? Right.
So yeah, it gets to be stressful, especially balancing being an attorney and like having my own law firm and all that. Like, that's a lot. It's a lot to balance. So, um, but like you said, I think God has equipped me. He continues to equip me. I literally ask him every day for strength, whatever I need for the day. I'm not even trying to think about tomorrow. Whatever I need for the day, please, Lord, give that to me.
Indeed.
So, so yeah, yeah.
Got you. So, do you have any questions for me?
No.
Would you have? No, no question at all. Okay.
Look, Jeremy, what do you have? Well, you had plenty of questions for me, but like, how do you see, because I know you were talking about partnering. I would love like to brainstorm about us partnering because, like I said, like when we had our first conversation, like Jeremy, like immediately was good people. I was like, oh yeah, he about to be fam. He about to be fam. Not only because um you saw like what I was trying to do and what we're trying to do,
Mhm.
but um you really understood what it's like to try to grow something and people may not necessarily always get it.
Yeah,
They may not always like support it in the beginning.
you should have seen what I posted on my story the other day.
What
I
did you
seen it late
post?
at night. Imma send it to you.
Okay.
It's like supporters versus the congratulation. Like, and I said it. My wife was asleep, and I was sitting there, and I was just like, "This is how it is when I have certain people on the show or anybody." Like, "Yeah, man, I'm so glad you got Cam Newton on the show. I can't believe you did that." I'm like, "You didn't help." That's why I said I can't wait. I said I want to say that so bad, and my boy, he said, "Bro, you can't do that. You can't do that." But I was like, "Wait, why not? Why not? I'm gonna say it to somebody. I'm gonna say, you know what? You didn't help, man." I'm like, "It's another dude."
It's all the way in which you say it,
Yeah,
baby. Like,
of course. I'm just gonna
maybe
do
not
it in person. I'm gonna do it in person.
right.
I'm like this. I'm gonna be dressed up nice, and I'm like, "Look, man. Yeah, I'm glad you had some. So, man, you had her on there before Rise blew up." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I, yeah, yeah. What was you when we picked the episode up?" But nah, that's how I feel stuff. But I definitely would say to you that I'm open to help. Let's brainstorm. Here these next couple weeks. We got the holidays coming next week, but and next year, call me, text me. You got my number, man, and let me know what you need from me, and I definitely help. Even
Yeah,
if it,
always from me. Whatever you need. I know I'm working on something. I told you I was gonna try to work on something. So I'm still working on it. I ain't forgot about it. I'm still working on it.
is indeed, I
but
know, I already know.
but yeah, so I appreciate you and I always appreciate like good people
Mhm.
because um a lot of people seem like they're good people, but they always end up showing who they really are. So
Yeah.
I always appreciate meeting genuine people that don't mind helping, and even like it being like reciprocity when it comes to a relationship. Because I don't think that no relationship should ever be just somebody taking or you just giving.
Right.
I think it should be very much interchangeable. So and that's like with anybody that we work with, like we want to really help promote brands, particularly like smaller brands that really want to get more exposure because marketing is very expensive. Trying to get new clients, trying to get new
Man.
audience is very expensive. which is why NIL is such an opportunity for small businesses, because they are able to get more eyes on their product,
Mhm.
probably for a fraction of the cost, and maybe even getting more value from the opportunity.
Definitely.
Um, and people don't really think about it like that. They're like, well, what do I, like, think about it. Are you really connected to college athletes,
You got me. And one
college
thing,
students?
you ain't, because I be seeing the small thing. Do you see what LSU do? Every time something happen at LSU, where they end up at? What is it? Canes. I'm
I
like, Canes is the
literally,
smartest restaurant. Canes
I
is the smartest.
I saw something on Instagram today where
Mhm,
it was a brand. I guess they I don't know how long they've been doing the deal, but they did a deal with one of the athletes. It's a wing place. It's a black owned business too. And
mhm.
he said that his sales grew 80%.
That's how it is. That's how it's supposed to be.
And this is the wing place. You know what I mean? Like 80% from doing a deal.
That's crazy. See, look, we're gonna have to do episode 2. I'm
Yeah.
already ready. But
Yeah.
since you're so close, because I'm at Atlanta, Georgia, I would say definitely in the new year, let me know. I'm
Oh
even
yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
try to.
Yeah. And I think we're going on a tour. Rosa
Mhm.
HBCU is going on a school tour starting in January. So
Mhm.
we'll be trying to hit up as many HBCUs as possible.
Gotcha.
Um, just to connect, show them that we exist. One,
Yeah.
because like I said, we're still new, but then also talk more about the conference and really connected and trying to get them to send their athletes
Mhm.
and staff member with their athletes to the conference. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm really excited about it. Oh, so much work. And sometimes I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be so much work. But I've been planning and prepping, so I'm trying
Mhm.
to make sure I get my rest
Right. That's what
during
I
the
would
holiday
say.
break,
Look,
because
get some
it's
rest
gonna be
and get
on.
ready to go hit the ground running.
Right, it's gonna be on. So yeah.
Yeah, so with this episode, I'm gonna do a snippet like I do everybody. I'm gonna put it on my story now. And what I will do is save the copy. It will come out in a couple months. But if you need it for any promotional details, let me know. I will send
Okay.
you a copy. And we family now, so you just call me, text me, and I'll be like, okay, you get a copy. But
Okay. I
what
do,
we do,
I probably
yeah,
will want just to like cut up clips or whatever, and just like you said, promote it on
definitely.
our page. Yeah.
So I got your email. I can retransfer the whole thing to you now, and
Okay.
you can go ahead and have it.
Okay.
But thank you so much. I look forward to
Yeah,
talking to you soon.
and let me know when when you put it out, because I don't really necessarily want to put it out before you do. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, just let me know when it'll come out.
I got you. You'll look. You'll know no because we already gonna be talking. See.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But thank you so much. You have a
Thank
great rest of your
you.
day. Look, go and cook. Go and cook.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna go cook. I'm gonna
All
do this
right.
slow thing because I really want to go to Jersey Mike. Go pick me up a sub. I really want to, but I'm not going to. I'm not going. I'm gonna get in that kitchen. So, but anyway,
All
see you
right.
later. We'll talk soon. Merry
Okay.
Christmas. If I don't talk to you before Christmas, Merry Christmas.
All right. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.